The three most popular cognitively challenging games for dementia residents and dementia units is crosswords, quizzes, and jigsaw puzzles. Now, if you've been a lifelong adherent of, say, crosswords, then that's going to be a lot easier to be able to assimilate, apply, and activate when you're in a dementia facility. Whereas if you haven't been involved in crosswords before you've come into the dementia facility, it's very unlikely that you'll take that up as an individual initiative, but it can be done well as a group activity. All of these crosswords, quizzes, word games can be done as a group activity, but it's really only those dementia residents who have done quizzes regularly and often lifelong from their favourite newspaper who continue doing that independently once they come into a dementia facility. So that's why it's really valuable for dementia residents who have had lifelong interests that are cognitive, such as quizzes and crosswords, etc. It really holds them in a good position for when they come into a dementia unit, because they can continue that to help cognitively, to help employ the time in a positive way, and to do something that they're interested in. And another cognitive exercise, of course, is reading. Reading is very cognitive and very important and often underrated, especially for, dementia, people with dementia once they go into facilities. Before they go into facilities, it's well recognised that reading and cognitive exercises, cognitive challenges are important, but they're equally important once a person comes into a dementia unit. And really, all that needs to happen is that once they come through the door of admission, those activities that they've been enjoying come through with them into the unit. That's it. If they've been enjoying the press before they come into the unit and the newspaper each day, continue the subscription. If they've enjoyed the Women's Weekly and or the National Geographic, continue that subscription once they come through the door. Nothing's changed. It's just, actually they need it more than ever. They need that cognition more than ever because they're not exposed to the cognitive stimulation of the outside world in the same way, of course, in a dementia unit. So reading is something that can come into the facility quite easily. It's not difficult just to continue the subscriptions, bring in some magazines, bring in some books, so it's just really thinking it through and what's important for the dementia residents and really what they need. Group activities are a big part of the cognitive engagement in dementia facilities though, and a positive engagement, probably a lot more than the person would have had if they were living alone. Certainly it would have been more than when and if they were living alone in a home without much support maybe before coming into the unit. Once in the unit with the regular activities that are in place, it's great. If the person is engaged and interested and wants to join in, that's the key point. The activities are there. All these cognitively engaging activities are there, like crosswords, word games, quizzes, it's all in place. But the dementia resident themselves has to want to do it and want to engage. That wish and will has to be there. You can't do it for them. So that's why it's important to encourage your relative or your parent to go to these activities, to be able to have that cognitive engagement and make friends and communicate and have fun. It's one big wonderful mix, these activities. It's good to have a bit of fun and some engagement and a few laughs with your friends and make some cognitive effort as well at the same time. Some dementia residents are good at taking the initiative with their crosswords and quizzes, and they'll sit down for hours doing it, but only if they've done it lifelong. And often they're school teachers or university lecturers that continue these exercises. They've always been interested in education, in words and thinking things through. But for other dementia residents, other activities sometimes have to come into play. like jigsaw puzzles are actually a very good cognitive exercise, and an exercise that everyone can join in, whether they've been doing that before they've come into the unit or not. Jigsaw puzzles they can and do pick up once they've come into the facility, and they're a really valuable exercise. They're fun, they're interesting, they take concentration and focus. They can be a group activity at a table in the dining room. They can be lovely scenes of your own country, like New Zealand here, or whatever country you're in, jigsaw puzzle of your country, so that when the dementia resident puts in places the pieces, they can see, oh yes, I went there for on a Christmas holiday, or that's where I used to live, or that's where my cousins are, or whatever. So it's a good discussion, a rallying point, a good discussion point. Many dementia residents spend hours at the jigsaw puzzles. They love it. It's not, it's not like a group engagement. It's not a workshop, but it's still an important activity. So all of these various activities can be trialled with your parent or your relative to see what interests them. But if they can get into the routine of the activities that are on, which hopefully they are at the dementia unit that your parent is at, they can engage in that and make a friend and getting an interest in those activities. It really is the best way forward. So I've written about all these topics in these two books, The Resident's Voice and The Resident's Rise, both on Amazon and on my website, description below. So thank you for your interest and subscriptions, and please subscribe. Thank you.